Hello, everyone. So if you don't know me, my name is Abby, and I'm the young adult assistant at Mary Vincent Memorial Library, and my pronouns are she, her. So today, I am going to be talking about 5 movies that I think are really good to watch during the summer. These are all available online for streaming if you decide that you're interested in watching them. So yeah, just gonna get started right on it. So the first movie I'm going to recommend, and this is actually my favorite movie. I watch it every summer. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's called The Way, Way Back. It's rated PG-13 for language and kind of mentions different substances, and Common Sense Media recommends it for kids who are 13 and older, so just keep that in account when you are considering watching the movie as a parent, if you want your kids to watch it, if you don't want your kids to watch it. So this film follows a teen. His name is Duncan, and he is kind of socially awkward, and he's not very confident in himself, and he doesn't really have a lot of friends. And during the summer, he goes to his mom's boyfriend's vacation house on the beach with his mother, his mom's boyfriend, and his mom's boyfriend's daughter, and they all go to the beach, and he's not very excited about this vacation because he doesn't really like his mom's boyfriend because he's kind of not a nice person, and he doesn't really know anyone, and he doesn't really feel like he has anyone to socialize with, and he feels like the adults are not very mature and they're not like handling things, so he feels very isolated. So as he is there at the beach house, he kind of wanders off by himself because he doesn't really want to be there, and he stumbles upon a water park there, and he meets all of the people who work there, and he really likes it there, so he ends up getting a job there that summer, and he spends a lot of his time there, and he makes a lot of friends, and he kind of just like breaks out of his shell and becomes more confident as he is there with the help of the employees and like meeting people, and he really like learns and grows and becomes more mature while he's there, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a good coming of age story. I think Duncan's a really interesting teenager. I mean, he definitely feels like a real teenager. I always say that in like all of my little reviews or recommendations where I like characters that feel like they're real, and I feel like Duncan's a really good, like, real 14-year-old. And I think it's really cool to see him grow throughout the film from being kind of like socially distant and not really wanting to hang out and socialize with people to going and being incredibly social and really popular at this water park that he's working at. And like I said, it's my favorite summer film, so I definitely highly recommend it. I watch it every single summer without fail. I think all of the characters are really fun. I like the writing. I like the setting, and it really, like, it takes place over the summer, so it's really perfect for that. So I definitely recommend that one. The next film I'm going to recommend is Real Women Have Curves, and it also is PG-13 for language and some sexual content. Common Sense Media recommends it for teens that are 14 and up, so again, just take that into account when you're considering this film, if that's something you're comfortable with or not. So I actually had to watch this film for school, but it takes place the summer after our main character, Anna, graduates from high school, so it still technically, like, takes place during the summer. You can watch it whenever, but I really think it's a great movie, and because it takes place over the summer, I thought it would be something cool to recommend, so I think it's important to recommend it. So this movie is about Anna, who is a Mexican-American teenager, and she has just graduated high school, and she wants to go to college. She wants to go to Columbia University in New York. However, her mother is very traditional and wants her to stay at home and help support the family and work at this, I believe it's a tailoring shop that they are all part of. But Anna doesn't really want to do that, and she kind of has a tense relationship with her mother in general just because her mom, is not very nice to her all the time, and she kind of says mean things about her body and what she's doing and like her involvement with the family. So Anna really has a hard time wanting to stay and be a part of her family when that's kind of the attitude that she's met with. But she's, this film is her like growing and learning and becoming, again, like very confident in herself and expressing body positivity, which is not something she gets a lot of from her family, but it's something she kind of has to grow into accepting about herself. And there's also like a romance with a boy, if that's interesting. to you. It's not like a big part of the film, but it's there. But the real central theme is just about like Anna coming into herself the summer after she's graduated high school and really learning about who she is and learning about the things she wants out of life and, what she's willing to sacrifice for her own happiness and for her family. And it's, it's about exploring her heritage and her culture while also, deciding like how to be independent and individuals, kind of like getting both of those sides of herself and mixing them together. I really like the relationship she has with some of her family. Like I said, her mom is not very nice to her, and that's kind of a relationship that stays fairly tense throughout the whole film. But her dad and her have a really good relationship, and her sisters start to develop a really good relationship. So I like seeing that, and I like seeing how they grow. So again, this is available to stream online places, but I think it's a really good film that I recommend. And it's also like an older film, I think from the early 2000s. So, it'd be interesting to see how it's grown and like the different, see how movies have changed over time, because The Way Back came out in I think like 2013, which is not that long ago. Like it was 7 years ago, but it wasn't that long ago. So that's cool. The next film I'm recommending is The Parent Trap, which not the original Parent Trap, but the 1998 Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan, because that's the one I watched when I was a kid. I've never actually seen the original one, so that one might be very interesting, but I personally saw The Parent Trap from 1998 and thought it was really good, so I wanted to recommend that one. This one's rated PG, and it is rated PG for sexual content, which it's not. It's just like kissing and stuff, but I'm just letting you know, according to Common Sense Media, and this says it's appropriate for ages 6 and up. So again, what makes you feel secure, but that would be what is recommended. So I'm glad you love that movie. I also think it's a great movie. So what this film is about, it's about two identical twin girls, Annie and Haley, who are separated at birth by their parents after they get divorced, and they've never met each other before. They don't even know they exist. Their parents just decided to separate each other, and they meet at a summer camp, and they kind of figure out what has happened, and they decide that they want to get to know the other parent that they've never met before, and also get their parents to reunite with each other. So what they do is they like kind of learn each other's personalities and preferences and things they like to do, and they go with the other parent when they're supposed to get picked up, and they meet, the mom or the dad, and they get to know each other, and once the parents have sort of realized what has happened, they've been reunited, and it's sort of about them like falling back in love with each other through the help of their daughters. I just think this one's a lot of fun. I like this movie a lot. I always remember liking this movie. I thought the Oreo and the peanut butter thing was really cool, and I think that was a great pairing, and I stand by that. So that's a fun snack you could eat while watching this movie. I thought it was fun. I thought it was really cool that they were reuniting. I liked the family bonds. I thought that both the girls had really good relationships with the parents that they had been with, and I liked that the girls got to develop different relationships with the parents they hadn't been with. So I think it's fun, and that's a movie that if you were wanting to watch something with younger kids, would probably be more appropriate than the first two. The first two, nothing really bad happens in them, but they are PG-13, so if there's some content in that that's not like something that parents are comfortable with, this is a movie that's more feasible for the whole family to enjoy and watch. So the next movie I have is also PG, and it is Lilo and Stitch, and this is the only animated version that I have, or animated film that I have on here, but it's such a good movie that I think everyone needs to watch it. It's rated PG for violence, but again, it's not like really violent. It's just, it's a Disney movie. Common Sense Media recommends it for ages 5 and up, so just knowing that. So this film, if you've never seen it before, is about a young girl named Lilo who lives with her sister in Hawaii after their parents died in a car accident. And Lilo is very lonely, and she didn't really have any friends based on the film. They're not very nice to her. So she kind of expresses that to Nani, not directly, but Nani sort of realizes this, so Nani tells her she can adopt a dog. And what ends up happening is she adopts Stitch, who is an extraterrestrial experiment who's being chased by the Intergalactic Federation, which is like space police, for being kind of not, he doesn't behave appropriately, so he is wanted by the Intergalactic Federation, again, the space police. And so he kind of goes into hiding with Lilo, and he sort of, while he's there, he learns, what it means to become a part of a family and how important that is. And, Lilo also gets a friend, and it's really sweet film. I think it's a precious film. But, it's just, I really like Disney movies. I think a lot of people really like Disney movies. I think it's set in Hawaii, and the animation is very beautiful and showing off Hawaii. The music and the soundtrack for the film are wonderful. Lots of Elvis, which is great. I also like the message behind it. The whole, being a part of a family is really sweet, and learning how to be a part of a family. And I feel like it's a Disney film that doesn't get as much hype as it should, so I thought I would bring it up here. Another really wonderful Disney film that you could definitely watch during the summer is Moana, just in case you wanted more if you haven't seen Moana or you're interested in thinking about it. But I think Lilo and Stitch is also, like The Parent Trap, kind of like, it's good for the whole family compared to the first two films, which might be more appropriate for just teenagers. Lilo and Stitch is something that's more accessible to everyone of lots of ages, just because of the content that's in there. So yeah. And then the last film that I have is the Sandlot, which is also rated PG, it's rated PG for language, and Common Sense Media recommends it for ages 9 and up. So this film is it follows a boy named Scotty who moves into a new neighborhood, and during the summer, like I said, these are all summer, so set in the summer sort of films, so just know that when I'm recommending. But he moves to a new neighborhood in the summer, and he kind of decides that he wants to learn how to play baseball. So he's, sort of figuring out, and then he meets a bunch of other boys who play baseball, and, that's their whole thing, and they enjoy it, and they take him under their wing and show him how to play baseball and really include him in that, and he develops a whole new social group, and it sort of just mainly follows all their activities and the mischief they get into while, they play baseball, but there are other things they do. They go to the pool. If you've ever seen this film before, then you know that that's a very iconic scene from the film, the pool scene. And then they also deal with like a dog named, I think his name is Beast, who has baseballs and steals their baseballs, and he's kind of mean to them, so they don't really like him, and they're all a little bit afraid of him. But yeah, so it just kind of follows a bunch of different things that they're doing during that summer. It's also set in 1962, so I think it's told, I haven't watched this in a minute, but I do remember really loving it, but I think it's told from the adult Scotty's perspective, but I could be wrong about that. But I thought it was a really sweet film. I really like films that focus on sports for some reason, so if you like that in films, this is about baseball partially, so I think that's a fun element to it. I think it's a funny movie. I think it's a really funny movie. I think the boys are all really funny. What else? I liked their friendship dynamic. I thought that was really cool. It was cool to see kind of them growing up over the summer and getting, more confident in their baseball abilities and hanging out and becoming closer friends. I really like that. I really like coming of age stories, so that's why a lot of these are kind of coming of age story based, and I think those are fun films to watch because, again, they're very relatable and they feel very real. So I think that's always fun to see in movies. So yeah, those were my 5 recommendations for summer movies. I hope you enjoyed them. If you, if you liked some of these, if you're interested in some of these, a lot of places that you can stream them have recommendations for films that are similar to that, so you can see more from that. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in, and Dabney will be hosting next week, so have a good day. Bye!